Okay, so Mishnah Dalet states, Ganava Pishnaim. So you stole an animal with two witnesses watching, who can testify against you. But you slaughtered and then sold the animal with only one witness. Or piatzmo, or he admits on his own. He says, I slaughtered or sold the animal. Misham tashlume kefil. He only has to pay 2 times restitution. He only has to pay 2 times the value of the animal for just the theft. Ve'enu misham tashlume arba v'chamish. He doesn't have to pay for the 4 or 5 because you need good witnesses in order to testify. And his own admission, you don't pay, especially since this is what's called a knas. The whole thing is a Torah, sort of a penalty. So you don't pay a penalty based on your own admission, and therefore he only pays the double amount. Ganav v'tavach b'Shabbos. Now, if he stole it and slaughtered it on Shabbos, so on Shabbos, you slaughter an animal, that's a violation of one of the 39 malachos. You're not allowed to do that. You're violating Shabbos. It's really the death penalty. So therefore, you don't have to pay. Ganav v'tavach le'avodah zara, or you stole and you slaughtered it for the sake of avodah zara. Again, death penalty for serving idol worship. Ganav mishal aviv u'meis aviv, stole from his father, and then his father dies. V'achach tavach u'machar, and then he slaughters or sells it. So in that case, he had an ownership in it. He had an ownership claim because he's one of the heirs. So when he stole it, he didn't have an ownership claim. His father was alive. But afterwards, when he slaughtered or sold it, then it was sort of, portion of it was his. Ganav v'hikdash, he stole it, and then he sanctified it to the Beis HaMikdash. V'achach tavach u'machar, and then afterwards he slaughtered or he sold it. So in all these cases, masham tashlumei kefil, ve'enu masham tashlumei arba chamishi. You pay double, not 4 or 5. Why in the case of when you sanctified it? Because there we assume, so once he stole it, the sanctification can be effective if the owners have given up hope. If the owner has given up hope and never getting the animal back, stole it, and the owner said, forget it, that animal's lost, we're never going to see that again. So then he takes a certain amount of ownership, and he still has to pay the double, he still owes for his theft, but in a certain sense, he's taken a level of ownership on it, so then when he sanctifies it, it belongs to the temple, and something that belongs to the temple, we don't pay the 4 and 5 on, as we explained previously. Rabbi Shimon says, Kodshim shechayev b'achar yusam masham tashlumi arba v'chamisha, v'she'enu chayev b'achar yusam patur. So Rabbi Shimon says, if you got stuff that belongs to the Beis HaMikdash, offerings, if you're responsible for them, so then you have to pay 4 and 5 for if somebody steals and then slaughters them. If you're not responsible for them, so then you're exempt. Even from the kefir, even from the double payment. What are we talking about? What does it mean you're responsible for them or not responsible for them? Depends the way that it's worded by the person who's sanctifying it and saying. It says, if a person says, Hare alai karban, I have to bring an offering. So that means you're responsible. Meaning, if you then designate an animal and the animal gets lost, well, you said I have to find a carbon. It's the responsibility is upon me, as opposed to saying Hare zu carbon, saying this animal is an offering. Then the animal gets lost. Okay, it's not my that's not my responsibility. I would have offered it if it was here, but I can't. It's not here. So if Rabbi Shimon argues with the Chachamim elsewhere who say that if you have an animal that has been sanctified, even if you're responsible for it, even if you're saying it's my car, but nonetheless, if somebody slaughters it, then you don't have to pay the 4 and the 5, according to the Chacham. Rabbi Shimon comes along and says, no, you still have to. But he agrees that if you are not, it's not the responsibility of the owner to have to pay back for it, so in such a case, one is exempt.